G'day viewers, welcome to Life Off-Road. I'm Simon Christie. This week we continue the adventure, exploring the Blue Mountains, especially the four-wheel drive opportunities around Lithgow. We're travelling with friends from ARB Thornley, ARB Penrith and Donaldson 4-wheel drive filtration. We've got the big Iveco and some fantastic tracks lined up. So let's get out in the bush and have some fun. We began the second day of our weekend in the Blue Mountains, weaving through the forests just outside Lithgow with our trip leader, Nick Bonnell, once again taking point. Yesterday he made sure we got our feet wet, but today he's promised us it's all about the rocks.
Had a really interesting day today. Coming into the area, there was quite a few rock climbs that we were able to do.
Ready to go. Going up another great hill. It's actually good, even though it's loose and it seems slippery underfoot, there's heaps of traction on the sandstone.
Fortunately, there was only a little bit of light rain, so once we lowered the tyre pressure, it was able to bite in and gave us the traction we needed. Up a few of them, we just needed that rear locker just to give us that little bit of extra drive.
In the middle of the steep bit now. Got our twin lockers in. A little bit of bounce, but to be expected. So the ride in the car is really smooth considering what we're going up and not a whole lot of hardship. Pick the right line and up we go, don't have to work the car real hard at all. Yeah, we're up. Bring on some more.
So yesterday I was in the Iveco with Simon, just smashing through some of these trails. So today I've changed it up a bit and I'm travelling with Nick in his 200 series. It's been great just sitting in the passenger seat and taking it all in. They've made some of these difficult terrains look far too easy. And that seems to be the common thing with these three drivers, is they're all very experienced and very capable machines. And look, it's been an absolute pleasure riding with them. It's been great being a passenger with them, but I think definitely next time I might have to invest in my own four-wheel drive and come along and enjoy the experience with them.
There was one section I'd been to before and I brought the guys up here. I knew Simon would love the big rock steps. He's always into that sort of stuff. Fairly technical hill, fairly tight, bit of rain, that's not going to help us.
Yeah, it's going to make it a little slippery.
Yeah, it sure will. I had Matt from Donaldson with me in the car, gave him a bit of a rundown on what we were using within the car. I'm going to put both the ARB air lockers in for this and give us all the traction we can get. I'm going to go up to the left and then swing right and give a little bit of momentum to keep us moving on the steps, and it should be pretty good.
The ride and suspension is that it just makes it feel nice and smooth, and he's very capable, very experienced, and making this all look far too easy.
Got the old man BP 51 suspension, so that gives us really good control when it bounces like that.
Oh, well done, you made that look really easy.
Thanks for coming for a ride, it's good, isn't it? We had a blast on that. We went up and down it a couple of times, we just couldn't resist. He seemed to really enjoy that as well, so yeah, top day.
From experiencing this in the passenger side, It's definitely got the itch back again for those times where I've been going around in the bush paddocks with my parents. What I could say to anybody who's thinking about doing it, just go out, give it a go. You'll be able to get to see the great outdoors, see some places you've never been to before. You won't regret it.
This would be my third time up in this area. It's a lovely spot. You got those huge rocks that are cut in that we're able to drive through.
And down we go. Nice and controlled. Lockers in for extra grip so we don't pop one wheel and carry down the rocks. BP51's doing a great job, and we're down the hard bit. Sensational.
The track itself has definitely changed over the last couple of years. It's been a while since I was out here last, so there was a couple of spots that caught me out by surprise. We're out on this trip and I'm in my Toyota Hilux. This particular vehicle is my daily drive. It's also the vehicle that I'll take my family away, my wife, my daughter. One of the big things for me is I want to know the vehicle is set up right, that the vehicle is safe so we can go out, have fun on our trip and get back home safely. All the work done on my car was done by us at ARB Thornley. Myself and my staff are very passionate full drivers. When we build in a vehicle, we put the same amount of pride and passion into building your car as we would our own. It's the passion and attention to detail that we really pride ourselves on. Come over here and I'll show you what I mean. What I want to show you here is the electrical work on my Hilux. As you can see, all the fuses are clearly labelled. Everything's easy to get to, everything's tucked up out of the way. You don't have hazards of wires being caught. Having the fuses labelled really makes troubleshooting nice and easy as well. It also reduces the risk of electrical failure, which could potentially be disastrous. Sometimes people will ask us why electrical work is a little bit dearer than the next bloke, and this is the main reason why. There's a lot more time and attention to detail that goes into wiring your vehicle like this, and we firmly believe that if it's not good enough for our own vehicles, then it's not good enough for yours. And it's this attention to detail that we put into everything that we do, whether it's your electrical wiring or fitment of a bull bar or a roof rack, and I believe that's the ARB Thornley difference. There'll always be products that are cheaper, but at the end of the day, I firmly believe you get what you pay for, and with something as important as your family's safety, I definitely think it's worth it. Okay, we'll just keep heading back.
We've encountered a lot of big puddles, and I know Simon just can't resist when it comes to seeing them, so he's been ploughing the Iveco straight through them and making a hell of a splash.
Right, here we go. Big Iveco submarine. Whoa!
Can you hear that noise, Simon? Can you hear it from inside the car? Yeah?
I can hear it.
I think you got a bit of stuff in the bead. It's just... Yeah, that shouldn't be too bad a problem, mate. Did he go down in there or
Come
not?
on, Simon.
Come on.
Come on, show us how it's done.
Where? Just
Over
down
there.
But he reckons I should go back in the bog hole and reseat the bead properly.
You do it first and then I'll evaluate, and if I think it's worthy, I'll do it.
Hey, you're up to here with the snorkel that high. You can come up to this deep and still be all right.
What am I going to breathe?
You'll be right.
For the record, I don't think this is a good idea and I'm definitely not responsible.
Matt's going to save you, Simon. Or if you want, you can just hop the side of the bead.
Yeah, we're just going.
can hear all that mud and grime in the brakes and everything. That sounds pretty ugly, but you give that a hose out with a hose when you get home and no more issues. Part of the maintenance.
Oh, very good. Well done. Yeah, a little bit too easy, I reckon.
Too easy?
Let's go find something harder.
Job done. Didn't have to get my hands dirty. The winch cable's all packed away thanks to Mr. Manel. And as Nick predicted, the bead has reseated itself. No more leaking. All good to keep going.
This afternoon we've headed up Blackfellas Hand in amongst some of the big rocks, and it's just amazing how these are formed. Very spectacular to look at and plenty of big rocks.
Driving through an incredible amphitheatre of cliffs, eucalyptus forest and shrubland, this is a magical place. And as we stare upwards at the immense rock shelters and incredible formations, it's hard to believe we're just 25 kilometres from Lithgow. We were also extremely fortunate to experience a guided tour with Sharon, a local custodian whose family heritage in this area dates back thousands of years.
My name's Sharon Riley. I'm a Wiradjuri custodian, local person from the Lithgow area, and we're here at Myingamaragu, which formerly was called Blackfellas Hands. The new name means people's hands. Hand stencils are like your signature, so handprints like that, hand stencils, gives you an idea of how many people have been here through the thousands and thousands of years. So it's that continuation of people coming here and keeping that alive. The community worked on getting the area protected as an Aboriginal place, and they worked on changing the name back to an appropriate Wiradjuri name. We had to keep up to date with modern society and survive in that world, but equally we had to maintain our cultural knowledge and our connections to country. It was a bit of a challenge growing up in a non-Indigenous area and maintaining all that cultural knowledge and respect for our elders. But I think now it's time for educating the broader community.
It's one thing to travel through these areas enjoying the four-wheel drive tracks and the scenery, but it's another thing to step just off the tracks and explore some of the local culture and history that is here to be found.
The artwork is estimated around 13,000 years. If you don't come up with someone from the landscape that knows the history of it, you're sort of not getting the full picture of it. It's all about teaching people to have respect, Yindamara, for our ancient culture.
Definitely a special experience as you're coming up in between some of those massive rocks. Definitely not something you see every day, and for me it's one of the highlights and why I love coming to this area so much.
The colour of it.
Has this been passed down to you from your mum?
Yeah, and grandmum.
If you didn't show us this, we could walk past it and not see it.
Exactly.
So if it wasn't passed to you by your elders and their elders, it would be lost.
It'd be lost forever.
No one would know.
Showing that Yindamara to people and country is really important.
So that's a fairly big hand, so what's the significance of the colour?
That person was a significant person in the community, like in their tribe.
Yep. This is an animal.
Yeah, emu.
Yeah.
And then that one's koala.
Oh, yeah.
Cultural education and awareness, it's a bit different to just tourism. It's more in-depth knowledge and getting people to do hands-on things and give them a really good understanding of what they're looking at, and not just a show. It's sit down and take part in doing things. Myingamaragu.
Mungu. Almost.
You're close.
Close.
I think the ancestors would be really proud and they'd be really happy to see us looking after country and taking part in that to help preserve it. It's a big battle, but it's a battle worth taking on. It's really unique what we've got here. It's something that everybody can take part in looking after and help preserve it for the future generations.
If you haven't been here before, I definitely recommend it. There's a lot to see. Quite a special place, that's for sure.
We've experienced a lot of dusty conditions over this weekend, and what a lot of enthusiasts don't realise is that dust prevention starts at the snorkel head. There's two different types of snorkel head, an air ram and a pre-cleaner. Donaldson pre-cleaners are a popular accessory and can extend the filter surface intervals. However, pre-cleaners were designed for use at low speeds while operating in heavy dust environments such as mining, quarrying and travelling in convoy. When travelling at excess of 80 kilometres, your pre-cleaner can have a negative effect and actually increase the restriction level. When travelling at speed, Donaldson recommends removing the pre-cleaner and fitting an air ram to reduce restriction and improve airflow. An air ram definitely provides some protection against dust and water, but nowhere near as much as a topspin. Understand the conditions you'll be facing and select the right snorkel head for your needs.
What a sensational day today's been out in the Aussie bush. We've had some awesome uphill climbs, some steep parts, some rock sections, heaps of traction on the ground, been unreal. Some of the tracks are easy, hard, you take what you want to do, you pick out what you want to do, what suits you, and have a blast.
Clearly there's been some water here recently, there's been a few wet patches. It's mostly been dry. The weather might turn on us, it might make things a bit more interesting, so we'll see how that goes, maybe a bit of slip and slide action.
Because of the rain that we've just recently had, there was definitely a few sections where there was a bit of mud, so that added a bit of fun to the mix.
Make it a bit easier for you. I'll get the strap out.
So I've located the winch just in case.
There's been a couple of times on this trip we've needed stuff we didn't even know we were going to need. We got to use the winch, first time, works perfectly. We got to use the compressor, it worked perfectly. The air lockers work perfectly. All the products we've installed on the car have been installed properly and will work for years. We won't use a product on a customer's car that we wouldn't use on our own car. We are four-wheel drivers, we know what works. So as a general tip, buy good quality products, look after the stuff. If you don't know how to look after it, ask the specialist. Come and see us at ARB Penrith or at ARB Thornley. We're more than happy to show you how to use it and how to maintain it. So once we got to the top of the ascents, we'd travel along a ridge for a while.
At the end of it all, we've finished up at this nice lookout overlooking Walgan Valley.
The Walgan Valley is the widest canyon in the world. May not be the biggest, may not be the grandest, but it is the widest, and that's a pretty cool claim to fame.
It's just an absolutely mental view. It looks amazing. We're just stopping here for a bit of lunch. I guess the takeaway from this, if you're going to experience this for the first time, definitely do your homework, be prepared, bring spares, and definitely bring some family, bring some friends, bring a mate, just someone to share this experience with.
If anyone wants any more information about this trip or where we've been, pop into ARB Penrith or ARB Thornley. We've got guidebooks, we've got maps, we can show you all of that and you can go out and experience this yourself.
The great thing we've been discovering about this is these tracks are so accessible. I mean, we've been in town most nights, but then we wake up, we get some breakfast, we hit the road, and half an hour later, we're in places like this. This trip's been fantastic and really appreciated to be amongst a very experienced team to take on this adventure.
Had an awesome couple of days with the guys from Life Off-Road. Seen a lot of new things and, you know, what a place to end the trip.
What a sensational few days it has been exploring the area around Lithgow. Sensational tracks, awesome scenery, incredible company, and the weather, well, it almost held. Viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. If you need more information about this trip in particular, contact the guys at ARB Thornley or ARB Penrith. They've got all the information you need. This is their backyard. I'm Simon Christie. Thank you for watching. Tread lightly, keep it safe, play hard, and we're back next week with another fantastic episode of Life Off-Road.